It was 10:00 local time over the grey-green quilt of occupied Kharkiv Oblast when everything began and almost ended in the same heartbeat. Deep inside a concrete bunker outside Balaklia, a Russian air defense commander was doom-scrolling telegram when his operator screamed that a single red diamond had appeared on the main screen, track 247, bearing 2065, range 320 kilometers, speed 540 knots, and climbing. 100 kilometers away, Major Andriy Khort Melnyk had the throttles of his Su-27 UP firewalled, a wolf grin splitting his oxygen mask, a single GBU-39B JDAM-ER tucked under the belly like a hot pizza waiting for delivery to a 9-story apartment block that had become the forward headquarters of the Russian 20th Combined Arms Army. 17 perfect seconds later, the RWR detonated with solid X-band tone. The 92 N6E gravestone radar of an S-400 near Belgorod had him cold at 300 kilometers. Khort slammed the stick left, afterburners howling, twin AL-31Fs gulping fuel at 300 kilos a minute as he knifed toward a river valley and tried to hide beneath the curve of the earth. Down on the ground, the Russian commander didn't hesitate. Launch 40 N6E, maximum range. 7.5 meters of fury left the canister, hitting Mach 14 in 8 seconds and sprinting not toward the jet, but toward the point pure mathematics insisted the jet would occupy 90 seconds later. Proportional navigation, the same geometry an NFL quarterback uses, except this football carried 180 kilos of high explosive hate. Khort skimmed the deck at 150 meters, using the planet as armor, but the missile went ballistic. Coasting over the radar horizon on inertial guidance and cold statistical prophecy, Russian software had watched 43 previous JDAM strikes and knew the release box by heart. A second S-400 inside Russia proper, fired blind into empty sky, pure ambush, betting physics would force the Ukrainian into the same basket again. Khort's fuel bled away at low level, 800 kilotons gone in 4 minutes. Yet he needed 27,000 feet for the bomb to glide its full 72 kilometers. He began a cautious climb, weaving between hills, unaware that his own radar altimeter, quietly pinging the ground 50 times a second to keep him alive, had just betrayed him to an S-300 PMU-2 80 kilometers away. 2 kinetic-kill 9-men 96E2s launched instantly, scalpels for close-in work, guided by human hands on joysticks that no jammer could fully fool. Khort dumped chaff, broke hard, waited until the ridge was 300 meters ahead, then yanked 7.2 G over the top. The missile flew straight into the hillside and painted another crater across Kharkiv's scarred face. The maneuver cost airspeed, altitude, and lit him up like a flare. 3 more S-300 batteries unmasked at once, ripple-firing 4 missiles in 2 seconds, each claiming a different corner of the sky. Khort did the only thing left. He pointed the nose straight at heaven and firewalled the burners. From 500 feet to 12,000 in 6 seconds, the sudden vertical vector broke every guidance solution simultaneously. Command beams crossed and cancelled. 2 missiles flew off into space. 1 bled its energy and fell. The 4th simply ran out of sky. He leveled at 26,800 feet, bleeding knots, engines coughing in thin air, fuel down to 58%, threat scope showing 2 Su-35s closing from 150 kilometers already painting him with Irbis E. The lead flanker loosed an R-37MO Axehead at 140 kilometers. Dual pulse motor, Mach 6 sprint, 40-second coast, then Mach 6 again for the kill. Khort had 45 seconds until impact and 40 seconds until release altitude. He kept climbing. At 27,100 feet, the JDAM-ER went hot, GPS locked, wings test cycled green. Khort dipped the nose 10 degrees, held rock steady for the critical 3.2-second wing deployment, and pickled. The 230 bomb fell away, wings snapping open with a metallic clack that rang through the fuselage like a starting pistol. He rolled inverted, pulled the stick into his gut, and dove at 9.2 G, chaff and flares blooming behind him like the 4th of July. The R-37M woke its seeker at 18 kilometers, locked the huge return, and sprinted. At 800 meters, the 60-kilo warhead detonated, fragments filled the sky. The Su-27 took hits across tail and starboard wing root, hydraulics bled but held, right engine surged and recovered. Khort kept flying. Behind him, unseen, the JDAM-ER glided south at 280 km/h through a storm of Krasuka jamming, switching to encrypted M code, then pure inertial when even that failed, drift climbing to 22 meters, until 4 satellites punched through the noise and corrected everything. Final dive, fins tweaked 1.8 degrees left for crosswind, impact velocity 94 MAS at 72 degrees. The bomb punched through the roof, penetrated 3 floors in 24 milliseconds, and detonated on the 7th. 89 kilograms of tritonal turned concrete to dust. The entire 9-story building pancaked straight down in 4.3 seconds, leaving its neighbors standing with nothing worse than broken windows. Ukraine's version of precision urban renewal, one permit-free demolition at a time. In the bunker that no longer existed, screens went black, radios died, and the telegram-scrolling commander never finished his meme. Khort dove west at 100 feet, fuel flashing 18%. Riding ground clutter and prayer all the way home, he felt the pressure wave 30 kilometers away but never looked back. The Su-27 landed at Dnipro with 312 kilos of fuel left, enough for one go-around, and a quiet thank you to whatever gods watch over 30-year-old flankers and very stubborn pilots. Somewhere over the steppe, a Russian Su-35 driver stared at empty rails and tried to explain to his squadron commander how one wounded jet had just danced through the entire air defense belt of the Russian Federation. Khort taxied in, shut down, lit a cigarette with hands that wouldn't stop shaking, and whispered the only after-action report that mattered. Mission complete. Fuel state, bingo, plus 10 minutes of pure spite.